Hello everyone, I'll be introducing the nature theme in Ich wanderte unter den Bäumen. It is the third song in Schumann's Liederkreis, Opus 24. First, I'll read the text. Ich wanderte unter den Bäumen by Heinrich Heine. Ich wanderte unter den Bäumen mit meinem Gram allein. Da kam das alte Träumen und schlich mir ins Herz hinein. Wie hat euch dies Wörtlein gelehret, ihr Vöglein in luftiger Höhe? Schweigt still, wenn mein Herz es höret, dann tut es noch einmal so weh. Es kam ein Jungfräulein gegangen, die sang es immer fort. Da haben wir Vöglein gefangen, das hübsche, goldene Wort. Das sollt ihr mir nicht erzählen, ihr Vöglein wunderschlau. Ihr wollt meinen Kummer mir stehlen, ich habe niemanden trau. The translation is as follows. I wandered among the trees, alone with my own grief. But then old dreams returned once more and stole into my heart. Who taught you this little word, you birds up there in the breeze? Be silent. If my heart hears it, my pain will return once more. A young woman once passed by, who sang it again and again. And so we birds snatched it up, that lovely golden word. You should not tell me such things, you little cunning birds. You thought to steal my grief from me, but I trust no one now. Nature plays a decisive role in this poem. First, nature is the context where the story takes place. As a young man who just lost love, I wander through the trees and bear the grief that a passage of unhappy love gives me. Here, nature is a temple where heartbroken people can get healed. However, the reason why this passage of love is unhappy is yet unknown. I express that an old dream crept into my heart and my mind is possessed by it. We do not know exactly the word träumen means in here. Is it a dream in the night or a daydream? Or is it just a simple reminiscence? But the word da reveals that something unexpected happened, and probably the alte träumen is against my hope to get healed in nature. In other words, it probably gets me hurt even more. Next, nature is a character that other than the narrator himself. At the beginning of the text of the next verse, a sudden change occurs. I raise a question to the little birds on the tree. Here, we're uncertain of the context of the question, whether we're already in the narrator's dream, or whether this old dream propels me to ask this question. But it seems I do not want to hear the answer of the question, because it will make my pain return. The role that nature plays has changed in these two verses. The narrator's hope to get healed in nature has been totally failed. Not only did I not get healed, but being involved in nature reopened my wounds. Why his hope is failed is yet unknown. We have to wait till the end of the poem to find out the reason. In the third verse, another sudden turn happens. This time the narrator's voice changed to the bird's voice, as shown by the quotation marks. The birds answer the question and tells the narrator where they learned the little word. Although we're still unaware that what that word is, but we can tell the word is described differently by the narrator and the birds. The narrator expresses the word will bring him pain, but the birds said the word is a lovely golden word. Nature is personified here. Logically speaking, you cannot really communicate with nature, but it is easier to communicate with yourself when alone in nature. Or we might be in the narrator's dream already. In his dream, I fantasize talking to the birds. Another possibility is that I am not really talking to the bird, but the pain in my heart makes me unable to think of anything else. And even birds chirping makes me remembering of my lost love. The fact that I and the birds have distinctively different opinion towards the word might mean that nature is innocent or deceivingly innocent. Nature may or may not know what the word means to the narrator. Another possibility is that this is the way that nature heals people. She puts the cruel reality in front of you and tries to make you look at in look at it in an optimistic way. However, in the last verse, we return to the narrator's voice, and his voice seems to be a bit angry and even a bit decisive. The first two sentences tell us the narrator rejects the help from nature because he thinks nature would steal his grief from him, and he trusts no one now. Why has he lost faith in everything after this wandering in the trees? He might want to deal with the pain by himself. And we finally have an answer why his hope to get healed in nature is failed. It is not that nature cannot help him. Nature tries to make him think of his lost love in an optimistic way, but even forget about his lost love. But he rejects this solution. His real intention is to stay with the pain and indulge in it. Heine might want to express the difference between human and nature, that nature is rational and calm, but human is sensual and impulsive. This little poem by Heine is deceivingly simple. In this little poem, we experienced time distortion, reality distortion, and narrative change. The role of nature in this poem is a temple of rationality and calmness, where you can forget and be healed. Nevertheless, no matter how powerful nature is, she cannot heal a heart that do not want to be healed. In Schumann's setting of this poem, he expresses the calmness of nature using peaceful, songful melody to take the audience into the context of wandering alone in the trees. And the song is mostly strophic. The only change occurs in the third verse, where the narrating voice switches to the birds with repeated chorus in a soft dynamic. We can almost hear a chorale by the little birds on the tree. And the strongest dynamic occurs in the last verse to show the decisiveness and anger of the narrator. The most distinct word painting is at the end of the song, when the narrator says that he trusts no one now. The harmony suddenly turns chromatic, as if the whole scene suddenly turns sour, and the dream of the narrator suddenly ends. Then the opening theme returns with a stronger dynamic. We can see the narrator leaves the nature with a decisive heart. The chromatic note before the resolution at the end hints something unfortunate. Maybe another heartbroken lover would come to the forest and everything will occur again. Now I'll play a recording of the song.
hat euch dies Wörtlein gelehret, ihr Vöglein in luftige Höhe? Schweigt still, wenn mein Herz es höret, dann tut es noch einmal so weh. Es kam ein Jungfräulein gegangen, die sang es immerfort. Da haben wir Vöglein gefangen, das hübsche goldne Wort. Das sollt ihr mir nicht erzählen, ihr Vöglein ungeschlau. Ihr wollt meinen Kummer mir stehlen. Ich habe niemanden trau. Ich habe niemanden trau.
Right, that is my presentation about the nature theme in Ich wanderte unter den Bäumen. Thank you.